things are not always what they seem. And the question becomes, what are you looking for? If you're looking for the obvious, all you will see is the obvious. I had the opportunity to meet with a fellow this morning named John, who asked a really loaded question when he said, you know, I'm recently one of these people out of work. Now what do I do? He said, do I need to, what happens if someone's trying to get me to do an engineering career that's not in alignment with who I am, or it's not what my expertise is? What do I do? Well, that's more than a 5-second answer. But what we got to is this idea that, first of all, nobody can make you do anything. But the problem is this. Are you, as engineers, applying your engineering skills to the situation facing you right now? Because if you think about it, engineers are some of the most creative, some of the most intelligent, some of the most significant problem solvers of anything. And you guys are the most similar to salespeople and professional athletes. Seem like an odd combination? How many in this room are salespeople? That many. How many people are engineers? All right. I'm going to pose a position to you. You're all salespeople. Because a lot of people misunderstand sales. But here's your similarity to salespeople and professional athletes. You want to know what it is? You, like them, have the highest fail rate of probably any industry out there. Right? You're engineers. What is your job? Your job is to make things work. Your job is to solve problems. Your job is to create product that fixes issues, that creates solutions. Your job is to create what doesn't exist. How many of you, given a task to do what you do, solve it in the first go? Anybody? One hand kind of went up the back. There's the genius. Anybody contemplating starting a company? Talk to him. Right? The rest of us mere mortals, it takes a second or a third or a fifth or a 10th or 100th time before we get it right. We're constantly testing, evaluating, trying, repositioning. Right? Isn't that what engineering is? That's what you're about to do. Or have been doing if you've been unemployed for a little while. What happens to many of us is that we get caught up in this perception paralysis. And what I mean by that is we expect things to look a certain way. And when it doesn't look that way, it doesn't exist. Call it blinders, call it whatever you want. Do you all know the artist Denny Dent? Does that name ring a bell to anybody? Denny Dent was known as the rock and roll artist. Does that help? I had the privilege of seeing this guy in Portland now, must be 12 or more years ago. Denny Dent is an artist who is phenomenal. And his shtick, besides being a great artist and hysterically funny, Denny's shtick is that he could paint a picture of a rock and roll artist in about the time it took to play a rock and roll song. So what he'd do is do this whole setup, and he was really funny, and most of his stuff was just entertaining because he's metal, these guys, so he's got stories galore. So he's going to do Jimi Hendrix. So here he is in front of thousands of people at the Portland Art Festival in the mid-90s, and he's got his stage up and all his paints, and he's setting up the presentation. He says, okay, I'm going to paint a picture of Jimi Hendrix in the time it takes to play one Jimi Hendrix song. So everybody's cheering, having a good time, and the music starts, and then he grabs his brushes, he grabs his sponges, and off he goes, pop, 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 and he's dancing, he's moving, and he's talking, and he's singing, and he's a riot. And we're laughing, and we're clapping, and we're having a grand old time. And we're watching this guy go about his business, and it was one of the most phenomenal experiences you ever saw, with one single exception. What he was painting didn't look like a damn thing. But he's having a blast doing it. And we're watching, we're laughing, we're clapping, we're having a good time, and we're starting to realize, wait a minute, the song's coming to an end. And that doesn't look like Jimi Hendrix. But he doesn't seem to know it yet. Because he's still going and talking and having a good time. He's getting more excited by the minute, and it's going, and the song's coming down to the last final notes, and Jimi Hendrix does that last chord, and boom, that fades out. He hits the last spot of paint, he stands back with great pride, and says, voila. To which we all crack, because it doesn't look like a darn thing. And he gets this really deflated look on his face. And looks back at his picture and says, I think I missed this one. And he goes to this funny little routine and he says, I got it. I know what I did wrong. Can I have just like 5 seconds? Can I fix one thing, please? One thing? And everybody's cheering, so he goes and grabs his sponge and white paint, and he runs up to the canvas and he goes, pop, 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 and he stands back as if that was the answer to life, the universe, and everything, and now it looks like Jimi Hendrix, and we're roaring because now it looks like nothing with a white splotch going across it. And we don't get it. And then he looks at us and says, you people. And he walks up to the picture and he grabs it, and he turns it 180 degrees around, and it was a spitting image of Jimi Hendrix. You know that classic line, that picture of Jimi, you see it all where it's been painted in velvet and painted and everything, and he's kind of like this, and he's got the white bandana, although his reverse was white. You know what I'm talking about? Spitting image. Now, you know what amazes me about that? What amazes me about that is not Denny Dent. Why? Because he's an artist. I mean, that's like being impressed because, Einstein can do physics. He's an artist. And the fact that he painted it upside down and backwards, well, big deal. He practiced that. He's got the gift. You know what amazed me about that? There were thousands of people in that audience. Thousands of people in that audience. And nobody got it. Nobody saw it. Why? Because we were expecting it to look a certain way. And we missed it. When I ask you to choose heresy, what I'm asking you to choose is possibility. What I'm challenging you for is to think outside the box, to use the cliche. But to really turn things around. What if you took an opportunity and turned it upside down? Bless you. What if you looked at it inside now? What if you asked the question you didn't think to ask before? Or what if you looked at an industry that's totally outside your expertise? What then might be possible? Because I got to tell you, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And if you don't believe me, you know how I can prove it to you? Ever heard of the chia pet? They make millions doing what? Growing grass. The legal grass. Right? Anything is possible. The question is,